Hey everyone, Mr. Cruze here with another geometry review for you. This time, your quarter 4 review. Remember, your quarter test is designed to help you. It can replace your lowest test score. As long as you do better on it, then you have your lowest test score, alright? So we made a review with questions that resemble questions that will be on your test. So let's get started. Number 1, find the surface area of the cylinder in terms of pi. So I go back in time, and the surface area formula for my cylinder is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. You can look those up in your notes if you have to. You will be given a sheet of all these formulas, by the way, while I'm thinking about this. The radius. Well, if this whole diameter is 20, that means the radius is 10. Times the height of the cylinder, which is 15, plus 2 pi, well, the radius was 10, right? 2 times 10 times 15 is, let's see, 300 pi. Plus 2 times 10 squared will be 200 pi. So this will be 500 pi. There are, of course, no units, but let's be good citizens anyway and put units squared. 500 pi square units. Find the surface area of a sphere with circumference of 28 centimeters. Well, surface area is 4 pi r squared. So I might need the radius, right? But they didn't give me that. They gave me the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So I think we might actually be able to get the radius. All I have to do is divide by 2, and that'll equal pi r. And then I'm going to divide by pi. So r is going to equal 14 over pi. I'm going to use 3.14 instead of the button. You should get roughly well, we'll go with 4.5. Okay? Then I'll plug it in here. 4 pi times 4.5 squared. And then I just multiply it out. It doesn't say leave it in terms of pi, so let's just go ahead and multiply 4 times 3.14 times 4.5 times 4.5. And I get 254.34. This will be square centimeters for my surface area. Okay. Find the measure of angle STQ. STQ is this one, which is going to be half of this arc. Fortunately for us, I know that since this is 42, so is this. These two have to be the same. The central angle is the same as the arc that it makes. So that means this angle is going to be half of that. This angle will be 21 degrees, half of 42. Find the value of x. I feel like I've done this before. X happens to be a radius, so no matter where I draw it, this is x, so is this, and in fact, ladies and gentlemen, so is this. And it's actually very convenient. This should be marked with a right angle. Of course, I didn't type it, but it should be marked with a right angle. Anyway, we can use Pythagorean theorem. 16 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. 16 squared is 256. 12 squared is 144. So that ends up being 400. And of course, 400 is a nice perfect squared, so x equals 20. Awesome. Find the lateral area and surface area of the given prism. Now, this is a little tricky. This will be marked on your test. Lateral area requires you to kind of identify a base. I'm going to use the top and the bottom as the bases, okay? If you go and try and find the lateral area of a rectangular prism without being told the base, we can get different answers. I'm going to do the bottom. Lateral area of a rectangular, or of any prism really, is perimeter of the base times the height. Well, the perimeter of the base, again, if I let that be the base, is 11 plus 5 plus 11 plus 5, so it'll be 32, times the height, well, that's the other number I didn't use, that's 6. So whatever 32 times 6 is, it's 192 square centimeters. That's the lateral area, okay? Surface area is a little bit more. It's the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 bases, right? The lateral area included everything except for the top and the bottom, so now we have to include the top and the bottom. Fortunately, I already know the first part. What's the area of the base? Well, it's 11 times 5. You know how to find area of a rectangle. So anyway, it ends up being 192 plus 110, which is 302 square centimeters. Number 6, biggest, most commonly missed question. A glass bowl weighs 3.4 pounds. You might want to star this one. Make sure you know how to do this one. How much does a similarly shaped bowl, the same glass, so we're not like making one out of glass and one out of feathers or anything, How much does it weigh if each dimension is 3 times as large? Okay. Every dimension is 3 times as large. Its height, its width, its radius, everything. So how does that change the volume? Well, it actually impacts the volume by 3 cubed times. So it actually multiplies the volume by 27. Multiplies the weight by that much. Most people are just going to take 3.4 times 3, and they're going to be wrong. Of course, that'll be an answer choice if this is multiple choice. But you have to take it times 3 cubed. So whatever you multiply every dimension by, you have to cube that and then multiply it by its weight. Okay? And that'll get you your answer. Not complicated, but a lot of people just forget to cube the number. Okay? Find the probability that a point chosen at random from AK, so this whole segment, which, by the way, is 0. Oop, I went a little far. By the way, is 10 minus 0 units long, which is 10. That's what goes on the bottom of your fraction. What's the probability that the point's on segment DH? Well, DH is 7 minus 3, which is 4 units long. So you take the length of the part you want to be on, which is 4, divided by the whole segment, which is 10, so you get 40%. The part you want to be on divided by the whole segment. Okay? Find the surface area of the square pyramid. Well, surface area of a pyramid is 1/2 perimeter times slant height plus 1 base. Okay. So, that's not so bad. Perimeter of the base is actually pretty easy since it's a square. You take 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18, and you get 72, times the slant height. Uh-oh. I don't have the slant height. I'm going to have to get it using a famous theorem that we've used quite a bit already, just in this video, Pythagorean theorem. Now, why is this 9? Well, it's half of 18. You'll notice this is half of that side. There's a slant height. That's what I need to find. So through some quick Pythagorean theorem, you get 144 plus 81 equals L squared. You get 225 equals L squared, which means L equals 15. Okay, you can check my arithmetic there. But your slant height's 15. Plus 1 area of the base. Well, it's a square, so that'll be 18 times 18, right? Anyway, 1/2 72 times 15 plus, I believe, 18 squared is 324. So let's see, 36 times 15, basically 540 plus 324 ends up equaling 864. Did they give us units? No, of course not. Units squared. All right. We're making progress. Find the circumference of the circle. Leave your answer in terms of pi. Well, circumference, as previously mentioned, is 2 pi r. You'll have this on your test as well. They gave us the radius. That was quite nice of them. It's 12. And it says leave in terms of pi, so this is actually just 24 pi inches. Notice, it's just inches. It's circumference, not area or volume, okay? Number 10, find the value of x. Well, I notice these are segment lengths. This is actually case 2, so you might want to look back at your cases, right? Anyway, it's real simple. You take the part that's outside, which is 9, times the length of the whole segment, which is x plus 9. Okay, a lot of you keep forgetting that plus. Okay, and that equals the same thing in the other segment. The part that's outside, which is 10, times the whole segment, 14 plus 10. And then after that, it's an algebra problem. 9x plus 81 equals 10 times 24, which is 240. So 9x plus 81 equals 240. I'm running a little bit out of room. 9x equals 159, which means x equals, we'll go ahead and round to the nearest tenth, why not, 17.7. Okay, technically it's 17 2/3, but we'll go with that, okay? That's that. I'm going to go ahead and erase this work. Let's see. Find the volume of the composite space figure. Okay, so there's kind of two things going on here. We have a prism, a rectangular prism, and we have a half of a cylinder. So let's do the prism part first, because that's easy. Prism volume is area of the base times the height. Again, I'm going to use this as the base. 4 times 13 is the area of that base, times what's the height of the prism? Well, that's 7. Okay. So let's see, 4 times 13 times 7 ends up being 364 cubic millimeters. That's the volume of the prism. Now I have to do the half cylinder. Okay. Well, the formula normally for a cylinder is pi r squared h, right? But since I'm going to have a half cylinder, I'm going to take half of that. Okay. Well, fortunately, I know what pi is. What's the radius? Okay, so I see that this is 4. And since this is a rectangular prism, I know that's 4 as well, which means the radius is actually half of that, or it's 2. So we have 2 squared. And then the height of the prism is the distance between the two circle bases, which is 13. Okay, so it's not the 7 that's over here. Anyway, we get 1/2 pi times 4 times 13. You just go ahead and quickly punch that in your calculator. 0.5 times 3.14 times 4 times 13. I get 81.64 cubic millimeters. And now I just have to add those two together. 364 plus my previous answer gives me a grand total of 445.64 cubic millimeters, okay? A lot of people are going to forget to take half of the cylinder, all right? Oh, I think we can maybe do one more here in this video. Yeah, we can finish this page. Find the measure of angle S. The figure's not drawn to scale. Well, X is... Well, X. I don't know why they just didn't say find X. X is right here. It's the angle, and it's outside, which means I have to take half of the difference between these two arcs. Remember, if they were inside, you added. Like if it was inside like this, you would add and divide by 2, but since it's outside, you subtract. So X actually equals 1/2 98 minus 60. People kept, on your most recent quiz, people kept forgetting to take half, so they would just put 38, but it's actually 19 degrees. Okay. That's it for this video. Good luck studying. If you need me, I'll be here in the morning. Continue to watch these videos. Hopefully they help you prepare for your quarter 4 test. I want you to do well on it, all right? Good luck studying. See you tomorrow.